Imagine standing in the middle of a vast, dark ocean. Waves crash against you, pulling you deeper and deeper as a storm rages overhead. The force is relentless, overwhelming, suffocating. You fight to stay afloat, but someone is gripping your ankle, dragging you under. This is what it feels like to be under a narcissist's control. It's not just manipulation. It's not just gaslighting. It's a force so cunning, so invisible, that you may not even realize you're sinking until you're gasping for air. But here's what they don't want you to know. There is one single move that breaks their control instantly. A move so powerful, so undeniable, that the moment you use it, the chains shatter, the storm clears, and you rise above the waves. And today you're going to learn exactly what that move is. A narcissist's power is not what it appears to be. It is not real strength, nor is it some unbreakable force that keeps you bound. Instead, it is an illusion, one crafted so carefully that you don't even realize you're caught in it until it's already wrapped around you like a web. They do not hold power over you because they are superior, smarter, or stronger. They hold power because they have convinced you that you are weak, dependent, and incapable of standing on your own. It begins subtly, often without warning. At first, they might seem charming, even generous with their attention and praise. They know exactly what to say to draw you in, how to make you feel special, how to make you trust them. They study you, learning what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what makes you insecure. And before you even realize it, they've begun weaving the narrative where they are at the center of your world. Slowly, their words start to change. The admiration turns into backhanded compliments. The praise you once received starts coming with conditions. They may act as if they are the only ones who truly understand you, but at the same time, they chip away at your confidence. They plant small doubts in your mind, doubts about your abilities, about your judgment, about how others perceive you. It's subtle at first. A simple, "Are you sure you want to wear that?" turns into, "You never make good choices." A gentle, "I just want the best for you," morphs into, "Without me, you'd be lost." An innocent, "You're overthinking," becomes, "You can't even trust your own thoughts." And before you know it, you begin to question yourself. You start second-guessing your decisions. You hesitate before speaking your mind. You shrink, not even realizing that the light inside you is dimming. And they thrive on this. Because a narcissist doesn't need brute force to control you. They only need you to believe that you can't stand without them. This is the illusion they create, that you are powerless, that you need them to guide you, that without them, you will fail. And this illusion is what keeps so many trapped. Not the reality of their power, but the perception of it. You see, narcissists don't actually have control over you. What they have is the ability to make you believe they do. And that belief is what gives them their strength. Because the moment you begin to see through it, the moment you recognize their power is nothing more than a carefully constructed lie, everything starts to shift. Think about it. If their control was truly unbreakable, they wouldn't need to manipulate, gaslight, or deceive. They wouldn't need to isolate you, make you doubt yourself, or create chaos just to keep you under their influence. True power doesn't require these tactics. Only those who fear losing control resort to such measures. That's why they work so hard to keep you confused. That's why they twist conversations, why they turn your words against you, why they make you feel like you are always the problem. Because if they can keep you questioning yourself, they never have to worry about you questioning them. And here's the most important truth. Once you recognize that their power is an illusion, they lose it. The moment you stop believing their words, the moment you stop seeking their validation, the moment you realize you were never weak, they become powerless because they never actually controlled you. They only controlled the way you saw yourself. So what happens when you reclaim that vision? What happens when you see yourself clearly? When you stand in your own strength, when you stop looking to them for approval? They lose everything. Because a narcissist cannot exist without control. They need to be the center of your world, the voice in your head, the one you turn to for reassurance. When you take that away, they have nothing left to hold on to. This is why they panic when they sense you pulling away. This is why they lash out, why they try harder to manipulate. Why they suddenly shower you with affection just to reel you back in. It's not love. It's not regret. It's fear. Fear that you are waking up. Fear that you are seeing the truth. Fear that you are stepping into your power. Because they know that once you see through their illusion, there is no going back. And when that moment comes, when you finally break free, when you stand tall in your own worth, when you realize that you never needed them to begin with, you will understand something they never wanted you to know. You were always stronger than them. Not because you controlled others, but because you never had to. Not because you needed validation, but because you were whole on your own. And that is real power. A narcissist does not thrive on love. They do not thrive on respect. They do not even thrive on admiration, though they may pretend to. What they truly thrive on, what fuels them, what keeps them feeling powerful, is your reaction. It does not matter if that reaction is positive or negative. It does not matter if you are showering them with praise or calling them out on their lies. All that matters to them is that you are engaged, that your attention is still fixed on them, that they still have the ability to affect how you feel. This is their lifeline, their survival. To the outside world, a narcissist may appear confident, self-assured, and completely in control. But beneath that carefully crafted mask lies an emptiness, a deep void that they cannot fill on their own. They need external validation. They need a source of energy to keep their fragile sense of self afloat. And that energy comes from you. This is why they provoke. This is why they twist words, create drama, and stir up conflict. Because in their mind, any reaction, whether it's love, anger, frustration, or even despair, means they still have control. Think about it. How many times have you tried to reason with a narcissist? How many times have you explained yourself, thinking that if you just found the right words, they would finally understand? And yet they never do. Not because they don't hear you, not because they don't understand, but because the argument itself is what they want. The moment you engage, they win. Because your energy, your focus, your emotions are still revolving around them. Even when you're furious, even when you're breaking down in frustration, even when you're calling them out on their behavior, they still have exactly what they want, your attention. This is why they push your buttons. This is why they know exactly what to say to make you explode in anger or crumble in tears. Because every time you react, you confirm their power over you. They love the chase. They love the back and forth. They love the emotional chaos they create because it means they are still at the center of your world. They do not care whether you are happy with them or angry at them. They do not care whether you love them or hate them. They only care that you still feel something for them. Because as long as you feel something, they are still in control. This is why no argument with a narcissist ever leads to resolution. No amount of explaining, no amount of defending yourself, no amount of proving your point will ever make a difference. They are not looking for truth. They are not looking for peace. They are looking for a reaction. And this is why they will never take accountability. Because taking accountability means the game is over. It means the fight is over. It means they have to stop arguing, stop gaslighting, stop playing with your emotions. And that is the last thing they want. They would rather twist reality itself than admit they were wrong. They would rather make you question your own sanity than allow you to walk away from the battle. Because the battle keeps you locked in. And that is what they need more than anything. But what happens when you stop reacting? What happens when you no longer argue? No longer explain? No longer justify? What happens when their words no longer affect you? The entire game falls apart. Because a narcissist without your reaction is like a fire without oxygen. It cannot survive. This is why the strongest move you can make, the move that truly takes away their power, is not yelling, not proving them wrong, not exposing them. It's silence, it's indifference, it's refusing to give them the energy they so desperately crave. When you stop reacting, they lose their supply. When you stop engaging, they lose their ability to control you. At first, they will push harder. They will try new tactics. They will escalate the drama, say things designed to trigger you, do things meant to get under your skin. because they are desperate to get a reaction. They are desperate to pull you back into their game. But if you hold your ground, if you remain unmoved, if you refuse to be baited, they break. Not you, them. Because without your reaction, without your energy, without your engagement, they are left with nothing. And nothing is their greatest fear. Because deep down beneath all the manipulation, all the bravado, all the mind games, they know the truth. They know that without someone to feed on, without someone to control, without someone to pull into their chaos, they are nothing. And that is why your reaction is their power and your silence. That is their destruction. The one move that breaks a narcissist's control instantly is absolute indifference. It is not arguing. It is not explaining yourself. It is not fighting back. It is refusing to engage at all. A narcissist feeds off your reaction. Every time you defend yourself, explain your point, or express frustration, you are giving them exactly what they want, chin-chin, and emotional energy. The moment you take that away, they lose their grip on you completely. Most people believe that the way to beat a narcissist is through confrontation. They think that if they can just expose them, if they can just make them see reason, if they can just prove how toxic they are, the narcissist will back down or change. But that's not how this works. A narcissist does not care about truth. They do not care about fairness. They do not even care about being right. They only care about control. And the best way to maintain control is to keep you emotionally invested in them. If you're happy because of them, they win. If you're angry because of them, they win. If you're crying because of them, they win, because in all these scenarios, they are the reason you feel something. And as long as they can dictate your emotions, they can dictate your actions. This is why they play mind games. This is why they twist your words, gaslight you, and create chaos where there should be peace. Because when you are constantly reacting, you are distracted. You are too busy defending yourself, proving yourself, and explaining yourself to see what is really happening. You are trapped in a cycle where they pull the strings and you dance to their tune. But what happens when you stop dancing? What happens when they push your buttons and you don't react? What happens when they insult you and you don't flinch? What happens when they try to bait you into an argument and you just walk away? Everything changes, because suddenly they are no longer in control. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle the fact that the person they used to manipulate so easily is now completely unaffected by them. And that terrifies them. At first, they will try harder. They will test new ways to get under your skin. They will try to make you jealous, guilt trip you, or create a crisis just to force you to engage with them. But if you hold your ground, if you refuse to be pulled back into the chaos, they start to break. Because they realize that they no longer have power over you. And a narcissist without power is nothing. They need a reaction like a fire needs oxygen. If you stop feeding it, it dies. This is why absolute indifference is the one move that instantly shatters their control. It is stronger than words. It is stronger than arguments. It is stronger than any proof you could ever present. Because when you stop reacting, you send them one clear, undeniable message. You no longer matter to me. And that is the one thing they cannot handle. They can handle anger. They can handle tears. They can even handle hatred. But they can't live in a land on land. No matter what they do, it no longer affects you. That is why they will do everything in their power to get a reaction from you one last time. They might try to love bomb you, suddenly acting kind and apologetic in hopes of pulling you back in. Or they might turn vicious, smearing your name, lying about you, and doing everything they can to provoke a response. But if you stay firm, if you truly embrace indifference, they will be forced to accept the truth. You have broken free. Because in the end, a narcissist's power was never real. It only existed because you gave it to them. And now you have taken it back. A narcissist's greatest fear is not losing you. It is losing control over you. This is one of the most misunderstood aspects of narcissistic relationships. Many people believe that narcissists act out of love, even if it is a toxic kind. They assume that when a narcissist fights to keep someone in their life, it is because they care. That deep down, they don't want to lose them. But this is not the truth. A narcissist does not fear losing you as a person. They fear losing the ability to manipulate you, to control your emotions, to dictate your reactions. They don't miss you. They miss their control over you. This is why they react so strongly when they sense you pulling away. It is not about love. It is about power. From the beginning, a narcissist's main goal is to establish dominance. Whether through charm, manipulation, or outright intimidation, they work to place themselves at the center of your emotional world. They make sure that your thoughts, your actions, and even your self-worth become tied to their approval. If they praise you, you feel valued. If they criticize you, you feel worthless. If they withdraw their attention, you feel anxious and desperate to regain their affection. Over time, your emotional state becomes something they control like a switch. And as long as they have that control, they feel powerful. This is why they love to keep you in a cycle of highs and lows. One moment they are warm, loving, and affectionate, making you feel like you are everything to them. The next they are cold, distant, or cruel, leaving you questioning what you did wrong. It's intentional. Because if they can keep you chasing their approval, they never have to fear losing you. They know that no matter how much they mistreat you, you will always come back, searching for the version of them that once made you feel special. But the moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop reacting, something shifts. They feel it instantly. And that is when their fear sets in. Because once they realize they can no longer control your emotions, they start to lose their grip on you entirely. At first, they will do everything they can to regain control. They may try love bombing you, showering you with affection, making grand promises, saying all the things you once wished they would say. If that doesn't work, they might switch tactics. Suddenly, they become crueler than ever, saying things designed to break you down and provoke a reaction. They may lie about you, try to turn others against you, or create a crisis just to pull you back in. Why? Because it's never been about you. It has always been about their control over you. And now they can feel it slipping away. But here is the truth. Once you truly stop reacting, once you break free from their emotional grip, they lose their power entirely. They might try to punish you for it. They might spread lies, create drama, or try to bait you into an argument just to get you to engage with them one last time. But if you hold firm, if you refuse to play their game, they are left with nothing. Because the only way a narcissist can maintain their power is if you continue to give it to them. And once you take it back, they are powerless. They cannot manipulate you if you do not care what they think. They cannot provoke you if you refuse to react. They cannot control you if you stop allowing them into your mind. This is why a narcissist's greatest fear is not losing you. It is losing control over you. Because once they lose control, they lose everything. When a narcissist realizes they are losing control over you, they do not simply accept it and walk away. That is not how they operate. Their entire sense of power, their entire ego is built upon their ability to manipulate, dominate, and dictate the emotions of those around them. So when they feel you slipping from their grasp, they escalate. This escalation is not random. It is calculated, deliberate, and designed with one goal in mind: to pull you back into their control. They will not simply let you go. Instead, they will shift their tactics, increasing the intensity of their manipulation in a desperate attempt to regain the power they feel slipping away. At first, they may try love bombing. Suddenly, they become the person you once fell for, the charming, attentive, loving version of themselves that made you believe in them. They shower you with compliments, apologize for past mistakes, and make promises to change. I've realized how much I hurt you. I can't live without you. I will do anything to make things right. They may act more affectionate than ever, treating you like you are the most important person in the world. They will tell you that you are special, that no one understands them the way you do, that what you have together is rare and worth fighting for. But this is not love. This is manipulation. It is a carefully crafted illusion designed to make you question your decision to walk away, to make you doubt yourself, to make you think maybe they really can change, maybe I was wrong. But the truth is, nothing has changed. The narcissist is not apologizing because they genuinely regret their behavior. They are apologizing because they fear losing control over you. And if love bombing does not work, they will switch tactics instantly. If kindness does not bring you back, they will turn to cruelty. The moment they realize you are not falling for their charm, they will lash out with rage, insults, and blame. They will say things designed to hurt you, to break you down, to make you feel like you are the problem. They will tell you you're selfish, you're overreacting, you'll never find someone better. You're throwing away everything we built. They will twist reality, rewriting history to make themselves the victim and you the villain. Suddenly, they are no longer the manipulator you are. They are no longer the toxic one you are. They are not losing control, you are abandoning them. This is their way of regaining power, by making you feel guilty, by making you doubt yourself, by making you feel responsible for their emotions, even when they never took responsibility for yours. And if that doesn't work, they escalate further. They may start spreading lies and rumors, trying to turn others against you. They may paint you as the abuser, claiming that you hurt them, that you were unstable, that you were the one who ruined everything. They do this because they need to be in control of the narrative. If they can no longer manipulate you directly, they will manipulate the way others see you. They will do anything to make sure they remain in power, even if that means destroying your reputation in the process. And if even that doesn't work, if they realize that no matter what they do, no matter what they say, they can no longer get a reaction out of you, then they begin to self-destruct. Because a narcissist without control is a narcissist in crisis. They cannot handle the idea that they are no longer the center of your world, that you have taken your power back, that their words, their games, their manipulations no longer have an effect on you. This is why they escalate, because they are desperate. But here's the truth, no matter how much they escalate, no matter how much they try to pull you back in, their power only exists if you give it to them. The moment you see their tactics for what they are desperate attempts to keep you trapped in their cycle, their control begins to break. Because once you recognize the pattern, once you understand the game, you no longer fall for it. You no longer react to their sweet words. You no longer fall for their guilt trips. You no longer engage in their chaos. And when you do that, when you refuse to play their game, the narcissist loses. Because their biggest weapon has never been their words. It has always been your reaction. And once you take that away, they are left with nothing. When you finally stop reacting to a narcissist, something incredible happens. The entire dynamic shifts. The power they once had over you dissolves. Their control, which was once so absolute, begins to crumble right before their eyes. This is because a narcissist's power has never been real. It was an illusion built entirely on your willingness to engage. They never had true control over you, only the control you allowed them to have through your emotional reactions. But the moment you refuse to engage, the game is over. At first, they will not accept this. They will try everything in their power to make you react again. They will provoke you, insult you, spread lies about you, act as if they are completely unaffected by your absence, as if you never meant anything to them at all. They will do everything they can to pull you back into their cycle. But if you stay firm, if you remain indifferent, something profound happens. They lose their ability to manipulate you. And for a narcissist, this is devastating. They have spent their entire life perfecting their ability to control others. They have built their entire identity on their ability to make people react to them. And when that no longer works, they are left with a terrifying reality. They are powerless. Because without your reaction, they have nothing. A narcissist thrives on emotional energy, whether positive or negative, it does not matter. As long as they can stir up a reaction, as long as they can make you feel something, they feel in control. But when you stop reacting, when you refuse to give them the energy they crave, it is like cutting off their oxygen supply. They may rage, they may cry, they may beg, they may try to guilt trip you, but nothing works because you have stepped out of their illusion. You see the game for what it is and you refuse to play. And when a narcissist realizes they have lost their power over you, something inside them breaks. Because deep down, beneath all the bravado, beneath all the manipulation, they are nothing without control. And now they have none. For the first time, they are forced to face themselves without a victim to manipulate. Without someone to blame, without someone to pull into their chaos. And this is the one thing they cannot handle, because a narcissist does not know who they are without control. They do not know how to function without someone to manipulate. And when you take that away, they are left alone with themselves. And that is their greatest nightmare. This is why your silence is the most powerful weapon you have. It is stronger than words, stronger than arguments, stronger than any proof you could ever present, because silence is final. It tells them that you are done, that their power is gone, that no matter what they do, they can no longer reach you. And once they realize that, once they see that you are truly untouchable, they have no choice but to accept defeat, because they cannot win without a player on the other side. And you have walked away from the game forever. When you finally break free from a narcissist's control, there is a shift of profound transformation that takes place, not just in your relationship with them, but within yourself. You begin to see the world differently. You begin to see yourself differently. And most importantly, you realize that the power they once had over you was never real. It was only an illusion, something they maintained through manipulation, fear, and emotional entanglement. But now that illusion has shattered. You are no longer trapped in their cycle. You are no longer reacting to their tactics. You are no longer giving them what they crave. And because of that, you have regained your power, a power they worked so hard to strip away from you. At first, this might feel unfamiliar. You may even feel lost. After all, narcissists thrive by making you question yourself, by making you dependent on their validation, by making you believe that without them, you are nothing. But that was never true. And now that you are free, now that you have stopped feeding into their control, you begin to see just how much they took from you: your confidence, your self-worth, your ability to trust your own instincts. But here's the good news: you can take it all back. You do not just break a narcissist's control, you reclaim the parts of yourself they tried to destroy. This is the true victory, because the greatest revenge against a narcissist is not anger. It is not hatred. It is not even exposing them. It is thriving. It is rebuilding your confidence. It is rediscovering your joy. It is learning to love yourself in a way that they never could. And that is what truly breaks them. Because the narcissist wants you broken. They want you doubting yourself. They want you so emotionally wrecked that even when they are gone, they still live inside your mind. But when you heal, when you rise above their gains, when you become stronger than ever, you show them, and more importantly, yourself, that they never had real power. Because real power is not control over others. Real power is control over yourself. A narcissist's greatest fear is not being exposed. It is not being hated. It is not even being ignored. It is watching you become untouchable, watching you rise above them, watching you move on without a trace of them left in your mind, watching you become everything they tried to destroy. And that is exactly what you will do, because you are stronger than they made you believe. You are wiser than you were before. And now you know the truth. The only power they ever had was the power you gave them. And now you have taken it back completely, forever.